Good morning, WSU Tech. Welcome to the third annual Fix Your Content Days. That's right, because we're going to need a bigger day, 3 of them, in fact. We're so glad that everyone is here, that you're ready to participate in all of the wonderful competitions. And in this very first live stream of the day, we're going to talk about those competitions, as well as a little bit about what Fix Your Content Day is. We're a little early, but we'll give it just a few more minutes and then we'll get started. In the meantime, is there anybody out there in the chat? If you want to put something in the chat, you can open the chat on YouTube and type something in, and I'll be able to see it and respond. If anyone is out there having a morning beverage, I'd love to know what you're kickstarting your Fix Your Content Day with. I can share with you that in this fine cup of mine, I have Diet Dr. Pepper, the drink of choice for all mornings in my world. Let me know oh, Chuck Kaufman says, good morning, Chuck. Lovely to see you here, sir. What you drinking this morning? You got some coffee, some tea? All right, WSU Tech, it is 9 o'clock, straight up on the hour. Let's get started talking about Fix Your Content Days, what you can expect, how you can participate, and quite frankly, why we're doing all of this. We're going to start with that first part because it's pretty important. Fix Your Content Day started as a way to celebrate accessibility. The last 2 years, we have done it on Global Accessibility Awareness Day. Now, Global Accessibility Awareness Day is the 3rd Thursday in May. Doesn't fit too well with our timeline. So this year, the A team, that's the Accessibility Committee, decided to move it to a time when more people could participate, make it more than one day so people could participate on their own kind of schedule, and have a couple more competitions. So let's dive, no pun intended, right on into that. So there are 3 competitions. The first is the spring training competition for full-time faculty, and that's already begun. It started at 8 a.m. and we already have people completing training, which is crazy. And we'll get to some updates a little bit later. We also have the 3-day content fixing competitions, both an individual and a subunit throughout the college group. We have trophies for those, by the way. These fabulous trophies. You can see it says Accessibility Champions that our own manufacturing department made for us. So those will be going to the individual and the subunit groups to have for the year. Today is the launch day. Today is the big party, and all day we're going to be showcasing accessibility at WSU Tech. In fact, near the end of this hour, I'm going to show you some of the amazing things happening on WSU Tech campuses right now. So there are going to be 4 live streams showcasing accessibility. There are 4 chances to win gift cards for every live stream that you participate in. Chuck, Matthew, nice to see you both here. You get your name entered in the drawing to win one of 4 $10 gift cards. If you cannot sign into YouTube, if you don't have a YouTube account and you still want to participate, you can watch the live streams without an account. And you can always send a message into accessibility@wsutech.edu. That's the accessibility system, and I'll get that message. So don't forget, you can participate that way and get your name in the drawing for those gift cards. And you can interact with your colleagues in the chat. As competitions heat up, a little bit of friendly rivalry might be fun. So let's talk first about the Fix Your Content competition, the group competition. So this is based on the number of fixes completed by all members of your unit. And there's 3 days to do this. So today isn't the end. The prize is a fun group event and a trophy for the year. And that group event will be decided amongst the group after this competition. But you must make fixes through the Ally feedback panel, which is something that I am going to show you here in just a minute. Matt, a protein shake for breakfast is a much smarter choice probably than my Diet Dr. Pepper. But Chuck, I'm feeling your vibe. That's my jam in the mornings too. So let's take a look at what I mean by fixing your content in the panel. When you're fixing content and you are looking at your meters, let me find what I can fix. The way that the content gets counted, the report that I run to count it, looks at this feedback panel being used. So you want to make sure that as you're fixing an item, that you are uploading the new file to the feedback panel. If it's something like an image, you can just type in a description or indicate that it's decorative as applicable. And that happens in this feedback panel as well. Also new for this year, you can go into any of your text in Blackboard. And if that text, for some reason, has less than 100% in your accessibility score here, you can click that panel, open it, make the fixes here, and that counts as well. So there are lots of ways that you can fix content. And if you're taking the training, you're going to know some special tips by the end of today about using the accessibility report in your course to fix content. I'll do a brief show here because you can look for certain issues in your course, and then you can go to those files and fix them that way. So lots of ways to participate, lots of ways to figure out what's happening in your course and make those fixes. But the other piece that I want to talk about, is what groups are participating in the group action. So this year is a little bit different because we've grown as a college. So we still have our Applied Technologies group. Yay! We have our aviation group, general education, health sciences, manufacturing, nursing, and professional studies / culinary and hospitality. So we did break out health sciences and nursing because those two fields have gotten so large that it was more fair for the whole. So if you have questions about what group you belong to, send in a ticket to accessibility@wsutech.edu. All right, Fix Your Content competition, the solo version. This is brand new this year. So while you're making all of these fixes for group glory, you can also be making them for personal glory, and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, there's a $100 gift card on the line that says there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So it's similar, but I can't track in the normal way each person that makes a fix. I can see what courses were fixed in, but not who did them. So for this, if you want to be part of the solo competition, there is a big old URL code on the YouTube channel community page, but I've also sent links out to all full-time and adjunct faculty with this particular Google Doc that is a solo fix tracker. It's super easy. You just need to put your name and the number of fixes you've made, and then the courses that those fixes were made in. So if you're doing some in a live course and some in a master, then you'll want to kind of spell that out. So you might put the CRN of the live course and then the name of the master. You might if you're doing a lot of fixes in one course, submit a form for that course only. But if you are kind of bouncing around and doing a bunch of different fixes in different courses, then you could put multiple courses on one form. We want to make this as easy as possible for you. Once you submit, of course, I have all of that information in an Excel sheet. I will boop, 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 compile the numbers, and I will have those tallies and announcements on Monday of next week. So for both of the content fixing competitions, the winners will be announced on Monday of next week, because you have from now until Friday at 11:59 p.m. to participate in those competitions. So that's 2 of the 3. You're wondering what the third is, right? Well, the third is going to be the spring training competition for full-time faculty. Now, this is done by your random color groups. And I just have to say that Matt Lewis, props to you, Justin Maples. I've seen you communicating with your teams this morning. There were already completions before we started the live stream, so some of you got right in there. I think Michael Corby was the first to let me know that he was done. I don't think the training had been open all that long, and he was messaging me that he had finished and completed that exam. So for your color group, the first group to get to first place not only gets recognition at Faculty in-Service in the fall, but you will also get luxury snacks at in-service. And I must say that the red velvet cake from last in-service for the red team was legit. But you'll also get bragging rights as the current champion of the color group training competitions. So that's an easy one. The training is not hard. In fact, let's just take a really quick look at how you can find that training. It is under what's called the Faculty Training tab. So for all of you new folks that might be joining us for the first time for one of these trainings, we do train in the fall and in the spring, and those trainings always come in here. Now, you might not see all of these because some of these are backfill trainings that you don't have to take. Other people may be brand new and just got enrolled in them the other day. But the one that you're interested in should be right at the top of the list, 2023 Spring Accessibility Training, all about Ally. And if you open that training up, the very first thing you're going to see is a leaderboard. So, you can check exactly how your team is doing. This is not fully up to date. I know there have been some completions since we started the live stream. I'll update it just as soon as we're done with this particular event. So that's the spring training. That's all 3 competitions. But I do want to point out again that there's chances to win gift cards throughout the day by joining the live streams and communicating. Courtney Green, she says Team Red is going to dominate again. Well, Team Red did dominate, although there were some pretty tough competitors last year. I think orange was neck and neck with purple and red at one point in time. Yellow was very close. So it's really anybody's game. It's exciting to watch over the course of those competitions. And not only will I be updating the tracker, but I will be putting posts in the YouTube community site that will allow you to keep track if you're... One moment, please. Technical difficulties. Sorry, clicked the wrong tab. Anyway, we'll be keeping that updated in the YouTube community channel as well. So check for updates there. And again, to watch any of the videos or be on the YouTube channel, you don't have to have a YouTube account. If you want to chat, you do. But you can certainly check out all of the posts, read the updates, and watch any of the videos, and even the live streams once they're done will be archived, so you can go back and watch those if you missed one. So let's talk about the rest of the important pieces. We already talked about the spring training access that went live at 8. And so really what's left, right, is if you have questions, you can put them in the YouTube chat if you're there right now, or you can email accessibility@wsutech.edu, or you can ask a team member. And that's something that I would highly recommend that you do, is asking the A team. And speaking of that, let's meet the A team right now. Let me just switch PowerPoints, get this rolling again. Okay, so the A team is the Accessibility Committee at WSU Tech. They look at access, they look at use. We have a number of different representatives. Jeff Farrell, we have Joy Thompson. We have Lexi Michael, who's the chef, great with knives, and an accessibility checker. We have Justin Maples, representing manufacturing, full-time faculty who enjoys adding alt text to images. We also have Jennifer Stanier, and Jennifer is our Director of Disability Services. She's actually going to be on the live stream a little bit later. We have Matthew Lewis, who is joining us in the chat right now, who's the Program Director for Information Technology. Katie Carmichael, who's the Director of Simulation Education, representing Health Sciences. Crystal Luco, who is off on maternity leave, but joining us here in spirit. And Jennifer Rowe, who is Orange Team Leader, and I know she's out to get the win this year. Trish Schmidt is the VP who started the team and specializes in the legal and administrative approach. Linda Sessions, who is a Red Team Leader, is our faculty for computer technology. Strap Nkoba is our multimedia technologist, but he actually is now the Director of Instructional Technology. And then you've got myself. I'm the team leader, the accessibility specialist, and that, my friends, is the A team. So you are absolutely able to check out that PowerPoint. I'll be posting it in the YouTube channel a little later today, just to make it easy to figure out who your A team member is. You can go to them with any question. And that's the wonderful thing, is that the more questions you ask them, the more we all learn, and the easier it is for everybody to learn about accessibility. Typically, if they don't know the answers, they'll come to me. And if I don't know the answer, well, I go to the internet, right? So with that, I want to jump into probably the most exciting piece of this live stream, which is accessibility at WSU Tech. This is a year in review for accessibility, and I cannot wait to share with you some of the wonderful things that are being done on our campus with our students, with faculty, and just some general numbers regarding accessibility. So without further ado, let's begin the Accessibility at WSU Tech year in review. So for those of you who don't know, the accessibility initiatives at WSU Tech began in 2018, in the spring of 2018. And it began with just one simple training, which was images and hyperlinks. And the Accessibility Committee was also formed in that year. And since then, we have had, I believe this is the 9th semester training. We have had, we've evolved from in-person to online self-paced trainings. We didn't have Ally to begin with. We got Ally in the fall of 2018. And so we've seen those numbers grow and get absolutely crazy over the last couple of years. We started off with a goal of getting the college to 65% on the Ally score. And then we moved our goal up to 85%. The numbers for fall 2022, it's just last semester, has the college overall. Now, mind you, this looks at live courses because that's the truest sense of our accessibility. It's what students are seeing. And so the live course numbers for fall of 2022 are 89.9. I think it's 89.96%. I don't know how that percent sign got in the wrong place. Could be my butterfingers. But that is even a 1.2% increase from spring of 22. So we are almost to 90% accessibility, and that's amazing. I wish I had numbers from other colleges, but those don't get shared all that often. But what I can say is that the improvements that we have seen over the last 5 years, it's unreal, over the last 5 years have been dramatic. And it's all because of the work that the faculty and adjunct faculty do in their courses. So we also started pushing out, the A team did, we started pushing out student engagement around accessibility and around Ally, especially the alternative formats. And whereas we had very little data before, we now have some numbers from fall of 22, where we started this initiative. And we have 3,091 alternative format window launches. So that means every time that a student clicks the little A symbol with the arrow in Blackboard to launch the alternative format option screen, it logs that. So that window has been opened 3,091 times. That was just fall of 2022. And then there were 311 unique user downloads. There were 236 courses with alternative format downloads. And of all of the alternative formats used at this point, tagged PDF is the highest. So that's kind of interesting. Most people would assume that it would be maybe an MP3 or possibly the immersive reader. But you have to remember, these are very early numbers. We weren't pushing this out to students. And I think that the more students understand what they can do with those alternative formats, we're going to see this landscape shift. And it's going to become, I think, not only a more frequent occasion, but also I foresee things like immersive reader, translation, and MP3 growing in popularity, especially as we bring in more students with English as a second language. So that's another aspect of what we do that can help all students, because putting good quality content into your courses means that that translation feature can also be used to help students who are learning English interact with your course easier. So let's talk about the fall accessibility training completion. We had 97% complete, 107 required, and there were only 3 remaining when I made this slide deck about a week ago. So out of 107, only 3 left is not bad at all. Don't worry, I've reached out to those 3 to ask them to please finish their training. I'd like to see 100%. But what's really amazing, fall was the first time that we did the training competition. And we had, I want to say we were at 90% completion within the first 2 days of the training launching. And that's unprecedented. Normally, we wouldn't even get to 90%. By the end of the month, the training was due. So you all are making these numbers happen right now in real time. And I cannot wait to see the numbers for this training competition. I'm going to stop for just a second and check out the chat. Oh, hey, good morning, Tony. Courtney, Linda, nice to see you. And oh, go Chiefs and go Ducks. I do have to say that Linda Sessions has the best collection of ducks. In fact, she even has a Mr. T duck and a shark duck. So, the A team, Mr. T is our motto, or our, what's that called? Mascot. And of course, sharks are the theme for this year. So check out Linda's ducks if you're over at South Campus. It's worth a look. Matt Lewis, I love that you have decided to call your team the Yellow Submarine team, sneaking under to dominate the competition. I think it's going to be a day today. I think it's going to be interesting. I can't wait once this stream is over to check those statistics and get some updates posted for you. But let's move on to accessibility in action. So, the first couple of years of the Accessibility Committee, we focused mainly on how and when to give training to faculty, because that was where we were at. We needed to get faculty to the level where they could fix their content and feel comfortable and confident doing so and help others in their area. And we're getting there. Most faculty know what accessibility is, at least, and that's a step from where we were 5 years ago. The mandatory trainings and the backfill trainings, that idea was created by the Accessibility Committee. But we decided this year that just sitting in a committee room wasn't enough, and that we wanted to be a team, and we wanted to be out in the world of WSU Tech, pushing the message of accessibility in any way we can. We are shameless. And so we became the A team, and we took it to the streets, which we'll talk a little bit at the very end about. But there are some people not even on the A team who are out there doing awesome work just because they can. And the first person I want to highlight today is Jeremy King. So Jeremy King reached out to me a few weeks ago when I was scheduling physical space surveys. And he said, hey, there's something you have to see. And I was like, okay. So I walked across the NCAT courtyard and went into his classroom. And there he pointed out to me this image that I have here of him standing next to his whiteboard. And in the top corner is a set of font images. It's a sticker printed on vinyl. And it is the ADA sample size that's recommended for viewing and writing on your board. So these font size guides were already one of the next steps on our accessibility roadmap. We just hadn't gotten there yet. But Jeremy took the initiative to figure out the size for his room, print the vinyl stickers out, and he said to me, I wanted to make sure that when I wrote on the whiteboard, I was writing at a size that everyone could see, not just the people in the first row. So thank you, Jeremy. Thanks for taking that first step and for offering to have the precision measuring classroom on the first round of physical space accessibility surveys. That was brave of you, sir, and I appreciate your willingness. Linda, I pity the fool who doesn't fix their content. That's right. That's our motto. So let's move on to Brandy Thompson over in our interior design program. I had the amazing experience of stopping into one of her classes the other day, and I got to see the geriatric suit in interior design in action. So students in Brandy Thompson and Adia Pomachana's drafting for interiors class discuss mobility issues as one topic in how to design a space. And so on this particular day, you can see the images here show Brandy dressing her very brave student, Riley Baker, in the geriatric suit. And then Riley went for a stroll. So the geriatric suit itself consists of weights on the ankles and wrists, knee and elbow restraints, grip-reducing gloves, a neck brace, a weighted vest, and glaucoma glasses that limit the field of vision. And then you add to that a walker, and these students are getting a real-life experience of how mobility constraints can affect possible interior design clients. Brandy and Adia also discussed asking clients about loved ones who visit, or if they foresee issues in the future due to degenerative diseases. These ideas of planning for the future when you're designing something, those speak to the principles of universal design and accessibility as well. So while you can imagine that's heavy, it adds about 40 pounds to a person's body. And Riley did a fabulous job. She not only put that suit on like a champion, she tried walking around their room. And in the third picture, she is using the walker to try to get through a space that is not designed to be big enough for that walker to go through. And it was interesting to watch her because with the glaucoma glasses on, she really couldn't see that space issue until she was right up on it. And then she had to back up and go around. So it was just fascinating. And then it got even cooler because we took a stroll to the library. So Riley was testing out the suit, and she tried things like opening doors with those grip gloves that make it harder to grip, navigating the aisles, with chairs, turning corners where you can't see what's around the corner. And then the use of the walker illustrated challenges faced just shuffling down the hallway or going into one space from another that has different textured flooring. And the vest and the weights made it very difficult for Riley to pick up dropped objects or to reach for tall library books. And all of that is illustrated in these pictures. It looks like she's doing a fine job of that, but watching her actually move in the suit, you could tell that this young, fairly fit person, just under the weight of that suit, was struggling. And then we went back to the classroom and had a gripping exercise in which handles, some of which were not very pretty, but not very well designed, were tested out not only by Riley, but by the other students in Brandy and Adia's class. And what's amazing to me is that these students followed up with some fantastic comments and questions about door positions, how fast doors close shut, cabinet and door handles, and more. And getting students to think about these issues, whether it's part of their curriculum or just something to prepare them for a changing workforce, is very important. I think some of them will have a different outlook after this class when they are working with clients, but also even interacting with their own family members. So thank you, Brandy, for getting the message out to our students and planting that seed, and for letting me come crash your class, because that was so much fun. Okay, so the A team. We have been out and about. Besides attending in-service in January, which I know some of you saw us and got your very own pity to fool buttons, we had a table for open faculty questions there. And I'd like you to know that one of the biggest questions was around, what is Ally? How do I use it? What are alternative formats? And that really informed the training that we created for you this spring. But we've also been taking it to the students. We've had tables at events like Hispanic Heritage Month celebration, where we showed off the translation features and the immersive reader. We were at the Student Resource Fair at NCAT. And we've even presented to the President's Advisory Council as a means of having them talk to their peers about how to use the alternative formats and how that can help them. And these events have really helped us teach students about the alternative formats, not only, the MP3s, but how certain formats can help with translation or note-taking. Basically consuming the digital information of their courses in the way that works best for them. And we had a lot of surprises at the President's Advisory Council. They were very interested, and you could see some light bulbs clicking on saying, oh, that's what that is? That's what that A is? Man, I wish I would have known that a couple of classes ago. And so we figured, since the faculty have spent 4 years focusing on input, it was time to make sure that students knew how to access all of the hard work that you have done. And surprisingly, like I said, even the faculty got in on the action, asking questions at in-service. So we hope to have more events like that, tables at faculty in-service, possible other workshops, and growing this channel to become a resource to answer faculty questions. If we see an uptick in the A team in questions about a certain facet of accessibility, we can make a video to address it and put that here in this community. So as I close this news and numbers section of the live stream and get ready for the rest of our day, I want to thank all of you for tuning in. And for those of you who couldn't make it but have worked diligently on accessibility throughout the year, thank you as well. Don't forget that we have another live stream at noon, and that's going to be with Lexi at Niche, talking about their accessibility journey from kind of the theory of last year to the in-practice applications of having students in the kitchen. And we'll also have their consultant, Hobie Wedler, who is a blind entrepreneur and consultant who has helped them with accessibility initiatives down there at Niche. He's going to be live after we show the interview with Lexi. That's at noon. ASC Live is at 2. We'll be interviewing Charles Wilkes, who is one of our actual culinary students right now. And then we'll wrap everything up at 3:30, talking to Jennifer Stanier and looking at some more updates. Don't forget to keep a watch on the community page because I will be posting updates to competitions as I'm able to calculate them throughout the day. The A team and I appreciate your efforts to make education accessible for our students. So let's get this party started and fix that content. And, Courtney, I agree. Sharks are a fabulous theme. All right. Thank you for tuning in. Have fun fixing your content. Send questions to accessibility@wsutech.edu. Thank you all in the chat.